sugar. I I can't feel you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all them ages. Cause I'm your man, your boy, your favorite random man, Future King of YouTube 10th was in the building today. Excuse me. And how y'all doing? Man, this episode of X-Men 97, y'all. Oh my god. I didn't know how I was gonna do this intro, but I think I have an idea how to do it. Even though I have my little figure on there talking about Gambit. Man, this episode was definitely a soap opera, but again, this to me, like in the comic books and definitely in the OG cartoon, this was definitely a soap opera, guys. I mean, yo, thank y'all again for watching my last couple of reactions to and also watching my video talking about the female Super Surfer. Y'all, I oh my lord, let me calm down, because after I watched this particular episode, because again, this is not the continuation of the Storm episode. I think, hold up, before I go on, hey, thank y'all for watching my owl video. We got over 2K views on that. Thank y'all again. I love y'all, for real. I love but it started with Gambit saying previously on X-Men. I didn't realize that till I went back and I watched another reviewer talk about it. And I was like, oh, Gambit did say that. Like, all of the recaps and everything. And bruh, it's like drama literally hitting the absolute fan in this episode, man. So like they go to Genosha and stuff like that. Gambit was talking about Gambit. You can feel the tension between Gambit, Rogue, and Magneto. That's just one of the triangles we're dealing with here. And then we going back to like the X Mansion, and they talking about how Genosha is part of the UN now. They know Cyclops and Beast are getting interviewed as well. Man, it's wow. And I heard some theories. I'm gonna explain as I go on with. Matter of fact, I am gonna go, because during some of the interview parts, Cyclops definitely he had a good interview, but he was like having the worst time with it. And then at one point, Jean and Wolverine, she's trying to gain some of her memories back, and of course, it seems like this is one of the theories they're saying. It seems like the show is leaning towards Jean and Wolverine having a relationship, more of a relationship together, because she don't really remember. And this been in the comic books, because I think Emergency Awesome said this, that just about almost every character either had feelings or slept with Wolverine or slept with one another. So I don't know if I can't remember if Jean and Wolverine actually slept together, but it's definitely she did have feelings for Wolverine. I'm like, bro, if I was so used to Cyclops and Jean, but now it's not really them. But because Jean don't remember, like, she's the real Jean, but she can't really regain her memories back. So, which led me to believe, because at one point, Cyclops went off when he lost his son. I did like the part where they had this intertwined conversation where Cyclops being interviewed, where Jean is talking to Wolverine, and it's like they talk about how they really felt for one another, and I can tell it's still there. It just got to come back. That spark ain't there, but it's there. And at one point, when she mentioned I think it was Tilly, I can't remember the lady, the interviewer name was, but I think she was a part of X Factor. And like I said, again, didn't notice that it was like the last episode was a lot of X Factor heavy, but they go and then next thing you know, Cyclops blew up. It's like, hey, the reason is because you're normal. I'm like, yo, Cyclops, chill, because it kind of reminded me how Cyclops was more militant in the comics, how he actually became a villain in the comic books. I'm like, yo, I was like, what's going on with you, bro? But it's like, he blew it because again he don't have his son. It's like, so I think Cyclops was dealing with so much to lose his son, then to fall in love with Jean Grey, the Jean all over again. That at one point Jean was talking to Wolverine, and Wolverine was saying like, "Hey, I'm still got the same face of 100 years." And I do remember Wolverine is old as dirt, but he just ages very slowly. He don't age rapidly. And then Jean Grey just planted a kiss on him, but Wolverine. Surprisingly, Morph was not in this episode. Thank you. But it's like Wolverine's like, yo, hey, no, Cyclops your man. No, he really needs you more than I need you. And maybe that might lead Jean towards Wolverine. But I think if that does happen, I thoroughly believe that Wolverine's going to slightly reject Jean and say, hey, you and Scott were made for one another. Even though they, like in the Age of Apocalypse, Jean and Wolverine does get together, but crazy thing is Jean and Cyclops actually died in Age of Apocalypse, which is one of my favorite complex story arcs. I love the Age of Apocalypse. I had the whole entire set, even the prequel. But that was like crazy good. So we're going back to Genosha. I know, again, sorry if I'm skipping some parts here and there. We're going back to Genosha. We got Nightcrawler come back. Then Madeline Pryor comes back here. It was like, again, it was really cameo heavy in here. And it's like, no, Nightcrawler's coming there. He's one of the High Council, or part of the I guess we'll call it like the Round Table. Of course, this is where the Hellfire Gale is happening. So while this is going on, I just want when we get to see Pixie, Leech, who's also from the OG cartoon. We saw Mothman Man, Dazzler. I don't know why they made her. She wasn't originally blonde. I don't know why they made her brown hair there, but I'm not. That's a little bit more of a nitpick, but nothing really bad with this episode. I'm gonna get to some stuff I did like it in a bit. Just bear with the boy. Just bear with me for a hot second. So then all of a sudden, man, it's like you see all of this happening. Like then and Rose said it's just like he said, and Gambit's like, yo, the professor, and Rose like, oh yeah, professor. Because again, this is another triangle that's happening here because it's Gambit, Magneto, and Rogue. And bruh, I was like, I actually like that they're actually exploring this. They're doing this. And so here we go. Magneto's talking with not only Sebastian Shaw, Emma Frost. We got Moira McTaggart, Banshee, Calypso. I was like, I think that's everybody. They want Magneto to rule, but hey, just like a king by Patsy, I should say. So they want him to like come in and rule, but they say pretty much, but we want somebody from the X-Men to help you rule. And already we I was like, oh, and I knew I was like, oh no, not my girl Rose. Please, Rose. I already feel bad for Gambit as is. And one side note, Nightcrawler was telling Gambit, just ask her to marry you. Just do it. And Gambit being Gambit is, like he knows she can't touch. He knows that they can't touch skin to skin. And they kind of tease about that when Gambit talks about that. So moving forward, and I gotta say they had two scenes. One when it's in this little market area where it's dancing. They did had two girls kind of hugged up on each other, and they had another scene where two dudes were hugging each other. They thought they were slick. They put that junk super quick, so no one want to pay attention. I was like, yo, I see that. Y'all not slick. Well, we're not gonna have more for here, but we're gonna have this. I was like, come on, y'all, don't do it. Don't. It didn't ruin it, but it was blatantly obvious. That's all I would say. It was blatantly obvious. But I'll get out. I just want to take those two things out of there because the rest of the episode was freaking good. But so we're going back to the X mansion, and Jean and Sakura is talking about Cable and talking about Nathan and Scott's just describing them. And just when you thought Jean and Sakura was actually getting a little bit closer, Madeline pops up in Scott's mind and pretty much goes at him. He said, "Yes, Scott, tell Jean how our son is." I'm like, "Oh, shoot!" So then the camera is like those reality TVs that have on VH1, and it was so crazy. Like Jean was, man. It's like people saying like, "Is he really cheating on Jean?" Yes and no. Is she still Jean, but not Jean? Because Cyclops really spent most of his time with Madden Pryor. And so what's crazy about that is, Gene asked him, so who do you love, Scott? Me or her? Both. I'm like, bro, that's the dumbest answer you ever could have said. Then Scott flipped it on Gene. He was like, you love me or you just love the memory of us? I'm like, Cyclops, what are you doing, bro? It was crazy because it made me think about when Cyclops cycling had sex with Emma Frost and Gene caught on to it. Right, was so upset that I'm gonna have this image posted up here where when Cyclops saw Psylocke in the X-Men combo, the Chris Claremont run of it, and Cyclops saw Psylocke come out the school. Ooh, that's why God, please bring back the old school X-Men stuff, please. Marvel, you're not gonna do it because you're scared, but it's like, oh my God, he's like everything looks perfect, and then Gene was like, excuse me. Oh God, why y'all afraid of sexy characters? Crying out loud, Jesus God Almighty. But anyways, I'm getting off track here. So then it's like this psychic spike hit, not just with Gene, but also with Madden Pryor. So it's like, so I'm like, what's going on? Then we go back to Genosha. Magneto tells Rogue what's happening, and Rogue was like, oh, this was your plan all along. It's like, this is what you really wanted. And pretty much Magneto just saying like, no, I was like, with your help, we can let people know that this is like, they trust the X-Men. They don't trust me, they trust you, but if you are with me as my queen, we can make this a better place. And Rogue go tells Gambit, oh my God, when I said I felt bad for this boy from Jump Street when this is happening. So Rogue tells the story about what happens between her and Magneto, and I love the fact they used the her Savage Land outfit as a call out for that. That was really good. My God, man, it's like she tells like pretty much explain like how she can, like how his magnetism pretty much protects him from Rogue's touches, for him probably won't be absorbed. But Rogue notices that his rage towards humans, what happened to his people and his parents back in World War II. You know, she says she can't live she couldn't deal with that. So eventually it's like, bro, it was so heartbreaking. Gambit MVP for real, but I'm gonna get more about that in a minute, because Gambit even knew something wasn't right. He knew something was off, and I figured we probably wouldn't get nothing maybe in later episodes. But what ended up happening was, so Rose say, like, Gambit's like Rose like, Gambit, we can't touch, we can't kiss, we can't do none of that. And it's like, I said I can't. I'll be able to change people's minds. No, Gambit wasn't feeling it. Then after Hellfire Gala, we saw Archangel there, like a lot of characters there. I think Squid Boy was there. I think his name is Squid Boy. I can't remember. But so many people was there, and you felt for Gambit. Like, man, Magneto, Rogue was dancing, but you can kind of tell that Rogue just wasn't feeling that. And I was like, man, to see them dance, it really broke my heart. Did you see how Gambit looked? Yo, my God, bro! I was like, oh my! I just felt so bad for Gambit. And then Rogue was like, hey, say some things I just gotta let go. So you can tell Rogue's still in love with Gambit, and I was happy to see that. Don't get me wrong, I was really happy to see that. So eventually Gambit leaves. Then Madden Pryor gets this psychic spike pretty much the same time Jean has that spike. She knows that here comes Cable. Cable's like, turn down the music, stop the music, get everyone out, get everybody out there. And so like, everybody's like, so what's going on? And then Cable's like, his time porter wasn't working. I mean, it was working, but he had no time. It's like, I'm too late. I'm sorry, Mom. He said that to Madden Pryor. So I'm like, yo, I said, what's happening? And then she's like, what's happening? Then boom, our laser just out of nowhere. Everything's going crazy. And then I will give them this much credit again. We're getting one of the darkest storyline in X-Men history was the E for Extinction. We had this Kaiju Master Mode. And oh my God, dude. Everybody was like, we saw Meryl was dead. Like, people's getting killed off left and right. I don't know. There's some people who are not dead or they're gravely injured. I mean, Banshee died, Marrow died. So many characters are dying left and right. Nightcrawler barely had a chance to save Rogue and Magneto. He's out of commission for a little bit. Then Magneto and Rogue and Gambit all working together, trying to stop these Sentinels, doing whatever they can to stop this crazy kaiju master mode. Master Mode's blasting everybody left and right. Then when Magneto's I believe his anger from the past, his PTSD, what happened to him, what happened to his family, and all that happened to him. He was trying to beat up Master. He couldn't stop Master Mode, bro. Eventually, Gambit and his powers, the animation fight scene, they will always get a plus for me with this because oh my lord, that was so good. Gambit saving the day, saving the Morlocks. Now at one point, Magneto's getting thrown back by this kaiju master mode, and next thing I know, bro, it was like Omega let found, and of course that's Magneto, and Magneto's doing all he can to stop. Magneto's literally saved Gambit and Rogue, because Magneto still has feelings for Rogue during that time. Rogue doesn't, but she's a caring person. Eventually, Magneto gets, I won't say obliterated or dead. I just think he got knocked unconscious. I don't think he's dead. But what ended up happening is Rogue tried to go at Master Mode for killing Magneto. Gambit, whose powers really was on display in this particular episode, revs up his bike, charged it, blows Rogue back so she won't get killed. Gambit is so good in this episode. And then, because the episode is called Remember It, Master Mode stabs Gambit. I'm like, oh my god, no. He says, the name's Gambit, remember it. Not only he charged up the spike pole that's in his side, he shot up the entire. I don't know how this kaiju Sentinel was killed, but oh Jesus, Gambit blew that thing all the way up. And then you see the X-Men at the X-Men say how many. It was just two. It was too many to count. Because I think it was like 16 million. I'm probably saying the number wrong what happened in the actual comic book, but they said a lot. So then the heartbreaking part of this entire episode, y'all, where she said, Gambit, I can't feel anything. And then, bro, even at the end, the ending outro was just slow and sad. And I'm like, come on, y'all can't do me like this. Y'all cannot do people like this. Oh my god, bro. So this episode by far was the greatest. I was in tears. Cause I was like, the emotion was spiked everywhere for me. I enjoyed this one. This was, yes, it's the better episode for me. Literally the better episode for me, y'all. Oh my god, it's just a great, phenomenal episode. I love this. Now, I do believe, because Cable was featured in this one, I do believe that they're going to try to do some time traveling shenanigans and probably try to fix some of this. But I do think certain characters are permanent dead. I wish it, because we got to see Marrow. The first time we actually saw Marrow, I think it was X-Men Evolution, I think, or not Evolution. I think it was Wolverine and the X-Men, and it was like, I think they're going to do something to stop this. Maybe bring Gambit back. So I do believe that this is what he may come out, either not this season, possibly the next season. I do believe Magneto is not dead. He's just out cold, out of commission. I think Gambit is permanent dead until we know otherwise, until we fix it. I think because the next week episode is going to be the continuation with the whole with the adversary storyline, and I think we got this episode 6. We got maybe like 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so 3 more after that. So cool, but overall, y'all, this has been a fantastic. Like I said, right now for me, like the last 3 episodes, marvelous. I love every bit of this. This was good. I enjoyed it. I hope they keep this train going. Thank you for not having no more for this episode. So I don't know, man. And now I forgot to mention that they Rose again. Like I said, Rose's backstory came in part 2. I really think the governor or the senator, I can't remember her name. I think that's Mystique. Because when she saw the Sentinel, she was in horror. So that was definitely, I really think that's Mystique. But yeah, this episode right here, get 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 dancing Markipliers, guys. It was a great episode. I love every bit of it. So yeah, so let me know if I know I didn't cover everything, but just let me know in the comments tell me what you think, what you hated, what you liked about it. Was it good? So you mind anything, but just let me know in the comments. Are y'all enjoying this? I'm enjoying this. But anyways, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, rant, we do have those cookies. Hashtag Victoria's Kitchen, and please, I'm gonna say it one more time. Please, you guys stay random. I'll see you all in the next video. Yeah, video.